Boom! First week, 10 pounds. And you go around telling all your friends that I just lost 10 pounds. Because the scale says I lost 10 pounds. You just lied to your friends. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I'm not trying to be a shady asshole. I just tried to come up with a witty introduction to this video to basically explain that no, you did not lose 10 pounds of body fat, even though the scale would have you believe. Okay, there's a thing that your body uses is energy, primarily for a lot of different functions. Your muscles use it as its main energy, and that is stored glycogen. Stored glycogen, also known as ATP. I'm not going to try to sound smart now, but I will try to sound smart anyways, is adenosine triphosphate, and it is basically the molecular structure of how this glycogen is stored in the muscle, referred to as intracellular muscle energy store, I guess you could say. Like I said, I'm not a scientist, obviously, but basically what I'm getting at here is that when you lose the initial 10 pounds weight, maybe 2 or 3 pounds or something like that will end up being actual body fat tissue. A vast majority of what you lose is actually going to just simply be water weight. Sorry to burst your bubble, but it's important to be realistic and understand where that weight is actually coming from. And a lot of people will basically think of this as the result of sodium. You're cutting back your sodium, and it is, but primarily it is the combination of two things, that initial weight loss. One, it is the reduction of the amount of actual food volume in your body. You're actually eating a lot less food. As well, when a lot of people clean up their diet, they're eating a lot less processed foods, a lot cleaner foods, so those foods are less in sodium. So yes, there is some degree of water retention, which is reduced from reducing the amount of sodium you're taking in, so you're going to hold on to less water weight in your body's cells because you're not taking as much salt in, or sodium. But the main driver and the main culprit here is actually the reduction of carbohydrates, actually. Funny thing is, carbohydrate is the most easily convertible source of body or energy for your body, right? So your body will take in carbohydrates and convert it through the processes of digestion into blood glucose. Your body will then convert those into stored glycogen in your muscle cells and in your liver, and that is like a stored source of energy. And this explains sort of why you don't die immediately after stopping eating food in combination with your body fat. Your body has an energy store. If you want to think of it in terms of, say you have a car, right? And the gasoline in the car is, for example, the glycogen. You go to the tank, you fill it up, and you have your gas there. That's kind of like the glycogen. It's short-term energy storage, right? But what do you do when your car runs out of gasoline? You go to the gas station, right? And you fill up your tank from the gas station, which has its own giant large reserves. Those reserves are sort of like body fat. Your body doesn't actually tap into body fat until it uses up the glycogen first. So what happens is when you reduce your carbohydrate and your calorie intake, your body is actually put into a sort of a state of starvation, semi-starvation, where it needs to get the energy, because your body still needs to burn the same amount of energy. Just like a car requires the same amount of energy. Just because you have less gas in the tank doesn't mean your engine is going to burn any less gasoline, if that makes sense. Your engine is your engine, just like your body is your body. It's going to burn the same amount of energy for the most part if you just simply cut off the amount of immediate energy reserves that it has. So what happens is your body starts burning through all the glycogen. And the thing with glycogen is it has a lot of water. Okay, so it stores this ATP molecule, or the glycogen, in your muscle cells, in your liver, but alongside it stores, I think, 2 water molecules with it. So for every bundle or every molecule of ATP, you're gonna get 2 water with this. So there's like a 2-to-1 storage ratio. So say you actually store 5 pounds of glycogen, you're gonna be storing 10 pounds of water with that. In addition to the actual weight of the glycogen. So that's 15 pounds of water on your body. So that's a huge illusion, right? And that's why weight loss slows after the second or third week normally, especially after cleaning your diet. And even me, someone who's been relatively diligent about their nutrition for years now, I will notice a spike in my body weight after having a large caloric intake, for example, on a cheat day or some sort of refeed day or unplanned days where I eat a lot of extra calories. My weight will spike like mad. And the thing to understand here is it's actually physically impossible to gain that much fat in a single day, considering a fat is 3,500 calories, and there's a lot of other biomechanics and math which goes into it, but your body can only store and produce so much body fat from a given amount of caloric intake. So a lot of that is just stored water and glycogen, right? And it flushes out quick as your body goes through it. The flip side to this is actually the illusion is when an individual is very, very lean and almost in an instant, almost overnight, or after taking a huge amount of calories, that person will actually seem larger, more defined, and more muscular. A lot of bodybuilders will notice this after a show, that their conditioning is actually much improved the following day after they go and celebrate, after the competition, after they're on stage, versus being on stage where they're in a very depleted state, they're very dehydrated state. And that's why also you see a lot of these competitors eating a lot of, like right before they go up on stage, maybe an hour or so, if they're eating candy, they're eating a lot of processed carbohydrates because they're trying to fill out a little bit, right? But the trick here is these guys are really lean, or these people are very, very lean, so there's not a lot of fat on the surface of the actual skin, like up between the skin and the muscle tissue. So as they eat all those carbohydrates, like I said, a lot of that glycogen is stored in the muscle, so the actual muscle underneath will swell and get larger. Think of it as a balloon. The balloon has a thin layer of, I don't know, say there's a balloon like with the blanket around there. You're not changing the blanket's a layer of fat. Say it's a very thin blanket around the balloon, and it's expandable too, right? It expands with the balloon. You can blow as much air into that balloon as you want. It's going to expand out, and the fat's going to stay the same. Because like I said in previous videos, the accumulation of body fat takes consistency over many, many months and years in a given time frame. It takes a while to actually put on actual body fat, but your body's very quick to take in carbohydrates and food and convert it to glycogen and swell up the muscle. So you get an artificially inflated look with the same level of leanness. I've experienced this recently myself when I had about 7,000 calories over the weekend. This past weekend, I looked much bigger, much strong. I was much stronger in the gym from that extra stored energy, and I looked bigger and more defined actually, because it actually improved the vascularity. I looked better having eaten that many calories versus being in a severe 1,900 calorie deficit where I was depleted, right? So it's a crazy illusion, right? So this is the whole point of this video, is that I'm trying to drive this home, that glycogen is a master illusionist, right? And if you understand how your body's energy systems work and how glycogen plays a role in how the muscle size looks and how your body weight's reflected on the scale, you'll be at a much better position and understanding to know where weight loss is and and how you look a certain way in different things. For example, if I was going to a photo shoot and I was already very, very lean, I wouldn't just remain deprived and relatively dehydrated and go into that photo shoot. Say I was like 8%, say I was ripped, 8% body fat. I wouldn't go in there just in that state, because I'll be smaller, I'll look weaker, I'll look more flat, so the muscles, not as much volume in the muscles, not as much pump in the muscle. What I would do is the day before that, I would have a large carb meal, like I'd go 2,000-3,000 calories above my maintenance, or at least hit my maintenance, and maybe slightly over even. Just taking more, the point being is just taking more than what I was taking, because it would fill the muscle in like crazy underneath. You'll look bigger, you look stronger, the vascularity will improve from the extra hydration, and you'll be able to get a way better pump before the photo shoot. And this is kind of like what I would do in that situation, and it kind of plays into fitness competitors' ability to manipulate body hydration and glycogen, right? Because they understand how these mechanisms work. Alright guys, so I really hope this video kind of drove it home a little bit, how glycogen plays a huge role and how initial weight loss, glycogen can fool you in that sense too, but this is all fine and dandy, right? You have to understand the difference between a caloric deficit resulting in actual fat loss and temporary variations in glycogen retention, therefore whether or not your body looks more plump or not less plump, right? I mean, a muscle is a muscle under the muscle, right? Whether the muscle is inflated artificially with a lot of water, if it's flat, it doesn't matter, you still got the muscle there. which is another reason why you can lose lots of weight, get really, really ripped, increase back to maintenance, and then you will actually fill in like crazy. A lot of people in a cutting diet are afraid of losing muscle mass. They're afraid of getting weaker in the gym, and it's true, they will get weaker in the gym on a severe cut, which has been going on for quite a while. But this is the result of simply just having less energy in the tank for the workout in the gym, as well as a reduced size in the muscle due to the fact that there's less glycogen. It doesn't mean you're actually losing muscle. As soon as you get down to the body fat level and you start eating more and it's even just the maintenance, you're not gonna gain fat, but you will fill in like crazy and look like, I can't even say it, 5 times better, guys. It's an incredible illusion. If you're already lean and you've been cutting for a while, try this out for a day or two and you'll notice like a huge increase. Because it takes a while to put on fat, guys. You can't be afraid to learn to manipulate these glycogen levels and the hydration in the body, right? So I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, please leave a comment below, subscribe and like below. And until next time, see you in the next video.